Hi everyone! Welcome to Red Fox Sewing and Crafting, and welcome to my craft room. I'm Joanna. So today we are continuing our 12 Days of Christmas series. Yesterday we made our cover, and today we are starting the actual 12 days and we are going to be working on our pages. So we are going to start with the base pages, and you will need 6 pieces that are 7.5 by 8.5, 3 pieces that are 7.25 by 9.5, and 3 pieces that are 7.75 by 9. I'm going to be showing you how to make 2 of them. I already made the others, and it's really easy to do. So for your 6 7.5 by 8.5 pieces, you want to put the 7.5 at the top, and we are going to be scoring at 1/2 inch and at 3/4. With the 7 3/4 by 9, you want to start at the 7 3/4 at the top. We're going to score at 1/2, turn, 1/2, turn, and score it at 1/2. And you're going to be doing this to your 3 7 3/4 by 9 inch pieces. And then for your 3 7 1/4 by 9.5 inch pieces, you want to start with the 9.5 at the top, and you're going to score it 1/2, turn it around, score it 1/2, turn, and score it 1/2. So now you want to fold and burnish on all of the score marks you just made. Just like this. And fold and burnish on the 7.5 by 8.5 pieces, making sure that you keep the 1/4 inch gusset, 1/4 inch hinge fully intact. And then we are going to be leaving our 7.5 by 8.5 pieces whole. We are not cutting these pieces. We are going to be cutting the 3 7 3/4 by 9s and the 3 7 1/4 by 9.5s. We're going to be mitering the corners on all of these. So miter the 2 top corners, and then cut out the 2 squares. So this is how your 7 3/4 by 9s should look. And then this is how your 7 1/4 by 9.5 should look. So really quick, I'm going to be adding score tape. So my score tape is on. Now we can add them to our base pages. So I'm going to start with my what is this? My 7 3/4 by 9 inch piece. Bottom tab. We're going to be putting it at the bottom of our page here. And I'm putting it on my page so that my hinge is on my right. And you're just laying it up on the bottom, just like this. So it should look like this right now. And then we can add some Scotch tape on the bottom. And this just helps so that when you slide stuff into the pocket page, it doesn't get caught on the bottom. And then we will put our two side tabs down. And you want to make sure that you line up the edge of your pocket to the side of the page as best as you can. If you get it a little over or a little under, it'll be perfectly fine. You won't really notice it once everything is fully done, but you want to try to get as close to the edge as possible. So that is the top loading pocket page done. And now we're going to do the side loading pocket page. Again, we're going to start with the bottom of our pocket here. Add glue to your tab. And this time, we're going to put the bottom of the pocket on the edge of our score mark. So you want to put it on your hinge side. So line this up as best as you can. And then got our hinge right here, and then our pocket, like that. And then again, we're going to add some Scotch tape on the tab. And then we could put our two side tabs down. And there's our side loading pocket page. Now our pocket pages are going to be alternating. And if you want to, you can number them 1 to 12, just so that you can keep track of each page, so that you don't get confused. But our pages are going to start with the side loading page. Then it's going to be the top loading. Side, top, side, and then top. Just like this. Okay. Now that our base pages are all ready to go, let's start by making our pages, our actual pages. We are going to be making page 1 today. For that, you will need 3 pieces. You'll need a 5.5 by 8 3/8, a 6 1/4 by 8 1/2, and a 4 by 7 3/4. On the 4 by 7 3/4, starting at the top, with the 7 3/4, with the 7 3/4 at the top, we're going to score it half, turn it, half, turn, and half. With our 8 1/2 by 6 1/4, you want the 8 1/2 at the top, and we are going to score at 4 1/4. And then with our 5 1/2 by 8 3/8, you want the 8 3/8 at the top, and we are going to score at 1/2 inch and at 5/8. With our 6 1/4 by 8 1/2, we're just going to fold that in half on our score mark that we made. And we are going to set this off to the side for now. And then we are going to fold and burnish on the other score marks that we made, making sure that we keep our 1/8 inch gusset on our 5 1/2 by 8 3/8 inch piece. And then we are going to miter all of our corners. And just miter on the 1/2 inch tab. You do not want to cut through the 1/8 inch gusset. You want to keep the gusset whole. So let's grab our first side page pocket here. And we are going to start with the pocket. And you want just the bottom tab first. And you want to glue that on the bottom of your page. Just like so. And then we are going to add some tape again over our tab, just like we did to our pages, and then glue down our side tabs. Making sure that you get as close to the sides of the page as you can. And there's our pocket. With our flap, we are going to be centering this. And our page is 6 3/4. Our flap is 5 1/2. So that is 1 1/4, 5/8 on each side. And again, you just want to glue this, your 1/2" gusset to your page. Now I'm going to center my page on my mat here to help me center my flap on my page as best as I can get it. And there we go. There's our page. And don't worry, I have not forgotten about the other piece that we have. We need to decorate this first. So the way that I am going to be having this closed is with ribbon. If you want, you can use magnets or Velcro or something else. I just decided to use ribbon for this page, and I'm going to cut 2 12-inch pieces just so that I have enough. And then I'm going to add a couple pieces of score tape to each of my ribbon pieces. So again, I'm going to center this on my mat here. And then I'm going to take my ribbon and put it on my page as centered as I can get it, and then put my score tape on top. Just like that. And then I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to do this to the bottom of my flap. And I'm just laying the flap separately from my page to make it easier for me to center my ribbon. And let me center this a little bit better here. Center my ribbon on my page, and then can stick it down. Just like that. Okay, let's work on the inside first. If you are following along with me with how I'm decorating my album. So, for the pattern papers I'm using for this page, I have the Colorful Roses. This is for the inside pocket, and I just went 6 inches down. For the pocket, I have this piece. And then for the outside flap, I have the burlap roses. So I'm going to start with my Colorful Roses here. And this is going inside the pocket. just like this. The actual pocket next. Getting this again. And then our flap. Now, if you are using the nostalgic memories like I am, you do not have to follow the decorating that I'm doing. You can decorate it differently if you don't like the pattern paper that I am putting where I am. Okay, now our little booklet. I'm going to stick some score tape on the back really quick here. Our flap is 5.5 by 7 3/8. Our booklet is 4.25 by 6.25. So it needs to be 5/8 on the sides and 3/4 on the top and bottom to have it centered. Just line it up as best you can. I'm just going to make sure that I'm good on the sides, and I am. I'm just going to stick this down. Now, if you want, you can put ribbon around the back. I'm not going to. I probably might later on add a magnet or something, I don't know. But right now, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. For our ephemera pieces, I'm going to start on the inside of our flap here. And I have this large frame, and I just put some paper on the back here. And I left the top open so that I could slide a picture in. And I'm just going to glue this down, leaving the top open again. So there's the flap, the back flap. And then for the front on the little booklet, I have this little piece here. This little chipboard piece that says "So Blessed." And then I have another one of these on the bottom that I glued on the back of a frame with two of the tags, a little bundle of sage, and then a tiny little piece of the floral. So I'm going to line my frame up kind of centered like this. I'm just going to hold this down and add glue to the back of this, because this is going to go on the top of my frame, but I don't want to glue it to the back because I still want to have access to put a picture inside this if I want to. So I'm just going to glue this down to my booklet here. And then I'm going to take one of my thin foam squares and add it to my my ticket so that this can get all glued down flat as best as I can get it. And then this can just get put down like so. And then our little So Blessed. Will go right at the top, right here. And there's our page. Then you can just tie this up. And trim the ends. And there you have it. You could also add pattern paper to your booklet front and put your ribbon on the front of the booklet so that all three of the layers get closed if you wanted to. But that's page 1. So I hope you are having fun in this little series. If you liked the video, click the like button down below. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.